Hi friends, it's Sarah. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Here I hope to give you some information on narcissistic personality disorder, basically how to identify it, what the common traits are in someone who has the disorder, and what we can do when we actually figure out that we're dealing with a narcissist. This is the first video of many which I hope to present to you on this topic. I do have a book that's due out in the near future that provides more in-depth overview of NPD. Right now the working title is Narcissistic Personality Disorder, No Band-Aid for a Wounded Soul. It's being published by Mad Hatter Publishing. The title is subject to change as we move through the edits, but it should hit shelves either at the end of this year or early next year, 2018. A little bit more about me before I get started on the topic. I've spent about 15 years in media now, primarily in publishing and entertainment. I am the supervisor of a castings department at an entertainment company. I have been a writer for a number of years. I do have 3 other books. They're fiction titles, and I continue to freelance regularly. I am also a student in a clinical mental health counseling master's program. I am the mother of 2 precious little gems, my daughter who's 6 and my son who's 4, and I would say that I'm very spiritually guided. I'm a Christian, and I do have the pleasure of teaching 1st grade at my church, which is great. So I may reference spirituality in my discussions as a means to, give some hope and to heal and to restore. Anyway, my focus in subsequent videos is, this being more of an introductory video on the topic, will be primarily on what we, as those who have encountered narcissistic personality disorder in our personal relationships, can do to release ourselves from it and to protect ourselves moving forward. Okay, so first of all, let me say, everyone on this planet is a narcissist to some extent. Every one of us has varying degrees of narcissistic traits. It's healthy to have some level of confidence, right? Confidence is what gives us the strength to pursue our goals. It's what attracts others to us, and it just feels good. When we have confidence, we feel like we can take on anything. However, there is a point when confidence turns to arrogance, right? There's a fine line between exhibiting healthy confidence and moving into this arrogant space, where we start to repel others and feel, at least inside, a sense of self-doubt and almost disdain, which can lead to lots of other fun stuff like shame and anxiety and depression. When it crosses over to this level, we start to move into pathological narcissism, which is a high level of false confidence, and it can become detrimental to others. Have you ever met someone, for example, who has a highly inflated ego? Someone who drones on and on about his accomplishments, even though you're not so sure everything he says is actually the truth or that actually happened. He seems to curtail comments from anyone else as he discusses, for instance, a new promotion or a new car he just purchased or his ability to run a mile faster than anyone else, whatever, you get the point. This person is someone who we would call a one-upper. In other words, no matter what you can do, he can do it just a little bit better. And with this person, you will never win. This is what's termed self-grandiosity, and it is inherent to individuals who suffer from NPD. You see, these individuals have twisted the reality in their minds so much to cover up a deep-seated resentment of self that they actually come to believe these things that they tell others, even though they simply sometimes are not true. And they do it in such a way that others believe them too. This is, again, because the storyteller actually believes his words. He's come to believe them. He can tell you these while looking straight at you without flinching. So unless you have a reason to believe otherwise, you're just gonna, willingly listen and accept. Another trait of an individual with NPD, which is inherent and related, is a blatant disregard for cold, hard facts that can prove him otherwise. So he will continue to voice his version of the truth even if counter evidence is shoved right under his nose. As you can imagine, this becomes mind-numbingly confusing to someone who is able to prove a narcissist wrong. The saddest part is that most of these individuals will actually begin to doubt themselves despite the blatant evidence they have. So for instance, let's say you've caught your narcissistic spouse cheating. It's just an example, a very common stereotypical example. You saw him out, let's say, having dinner with a woman, and they were holding hands. You approach him about it later on, and he claims that you're crazy. He was just having lunch with an old high school friend that he happened to run into, he'll tell you, and you'll scream, "But I saw you holding hands." And he'll say, I was holding her hand because she just lost a loved one. So now you begin to feel foolish. And this brings me to another point about narcissistic personality disorder. This is his goal. He wants you to feel foolish. And he'll do it time and time again until you are so mentally discombobulated that you actually start to doubt yourself in everything you do. And you start to rely more and more on your narcissistic spouse. See, the ultimate goal of a true narcissist, one with the pathological disorder, is to control you. He wants to control and manipulate and lie to you until you wear down to complete and total dependency on him. So outside influences, such as your friends that you may have told that story to, or your family, or anyone else that you've always valued other than him, will be thrown out the window. A gifted narcissist will ensure you not only cut ties with these people, but it was because you wanted to. It was your decision. Because they were trying to pull you away from the one person who understands you, who loves you, who wants what's best for you. He'll twist it to make it, believable even in your own mind that you wanted to push them away. So, does any of this sound familiar, my friends? If so, please follow my YouTube channel. I would love to help. Whether you believe you need it or not, sometimes it's good to just be able to listen, right? So I guess peace and love until next time. Thanks for listening.